What's going on, guys? Stan here, D-Speed Shop, as always. We're gonna finish all the rust repair on this thing today, or on this video, I should say, maybe not today. And we're gonna have it all kind of roughed out, and then the next couple of videos will be sanding and a little bit of color match. Now, what's been holding me back big time has been this quarter panel section, or the wheel arch, I should say. So what's happened, at some point, this had rubbed up against something. It had a big crease all the way through it, and then it rotted out, and then, you know, got a bunch of junk in it. The rest of the quarter panel is fine above this little stamping. The issue with that is that's quite a difficult panel to reproduce. So it's basically the same as the front. So it curves out, has a little flat bit down, then it has like a rounded bit, and then curves over, and then obviously there's some structure on the inside. Now, I was like, oh, how am I going to do that? Screwing around. Anyways, I found a guy who has a car just like this with the wheel arch on like a parts car, so he's going to cut it out and send it to me. So I'm like, perfect. So that's happening right away. He's going to take it apart today, and it should be here in just a day or so. So then I can just kind of cut it out, weld it back in, bodywork it, problem solved. But in the meantime, we'll do everything else. So both doors have this same little kind of gibbledness, where obviously stuff's gotten behind and it's no good. It's kind of hard to see, but I'll just end up cutting a little square out both sides and weld them in. We're waiting on that. I have this piece kind of mostly done. You'll need a little bit of figuring once we get the other panel. And then door there. And then this quarter, it's really not that bad. The other one, I section at the body line. This one just needs kind of a little bit at the bottom and a trunk dropout. So we'll have to do a little figuring there, but this will be the biggest job, but it won't be that bad. You can see how the quarter panel is here. We're gonna recreate that. So yeah, I should be able to kind of weld it along. I told them, make sure you go on the flats when you're cutting it out so it's not on any angle. It should be pretty easy to get in there. So I'm gonna get set up. We're gonna get both doors done. It's already kind of late today. I'd like to get both doors done, at least metal worked in today, maybe a little bit of filler on each, and some filler on that front fender, because I've already started on that. And then we'll do, well, starting to quarter, and the other quarter maybe the day after that. See how fast the mail can get here. Let's go after it. Okay, car is up on jack stands. We're pretty much ready to go. Now, we're gonna use like next to no tools. Man, it's, once you get your head around just cutting out rust and patching it up, you're golden. So the only tools we're gonna use, grinder with a zip disc, a marker, some factory GM steel. Oh, and we got the old Miller fired up there. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut around the edge. The way doors work, well, at least in this old stuff, maybe it's different now. So it'll go out, and the skin will actually wrap around, so it's double wall. And this right here is actually the inner structure of the door. So we're gonna kind of just zip it right on the edge. So we'll keep that back fold, and a lot of times it's tack welded on the back side. We'll go across, we'll go down, whatever it may be. We'll try and get a piece out in one section. That way we'll have a piece we can then transfer onto our steel, trace it, cut it, go from there. So let's get this thing, let's get it cut out. All right, let's start blindly cutting. So there you go, that's the piece we cut out. I went as close as I could, still managed to keep it in one general piece, traced out. Now the other thing you gotta remember, when you're cutting this, because we traced on the outside, you have to cut kind of right on the line, or actually inside the line a little bit, because you want this piece to be exactly that size. So the only gap you want should be the width of the zip disc. We got her cleaned up a little bit. It's nice and strong, and there's no issues. We could paint it and all that, but you know what I'm gonna do? So you can get in there from the inside. I'm gonna hose the inside of this door with some, oh, camera, with some like oil and stuff like that, just won't rot out again. That's what happens. Junk gets in there, leaves, all that sort of stuff. Honestly, these doors sat outside, again, with no glass in them. So leaves get in there, they go right to the bottom. Obviously, there's no way for it to go out. And that's the end of it. We'll probably also pull these doors out, or open them and drill some holes in the bottom, just so anything can leak, get all the moisture out. Moisture, crap like that, wet grass, leaves sitting in a door, it just rots from the inside out. That's the problem. These doors are in good shape. They're starting to, well, the earth is reclaiming them. So I'll get this piece cut out. We'll dress it up real quick with the grinder. We'll test fit it. We'll buzz it in. It's just that easy. New piece cleaned up. Man, the guys are pouring concrete outside there, so it's probably a bunch of noise. Now this has just a slight bend to it, very, very minor. But if we can have a little bit of a bend to it, we'll eliminate some filler work. Gentle, gentle. Look at that. Once we get that welded in there, ground down, you won't even know it was a patch. So I'll get the welder set up. We'll get it all kind of squared away. I might hold it with a magnet. And yeah, get as close as we can. Simple. There we have it. So that was, I'm gonna say 25 minutes of work. It's pretty much ready for filler. There's a few little pinholes. If you want to be absolutely perfect with it, you could definitely give it a little bit more weld and a little bit more cleanup and all that sort of stuff. But honestly, when you're doing a patch like that, it's a good patch. You don't got to worry about it. And it's easier just loading that full of filler. This is, I mean, it'll last another 50 years. So, you know, we had a patch in there. We have a little grossness there. There's gonna be filler. But, that's pretty much that. I'm going to do the other side on my own real quick because it's more of the same. I mean, this side's not even as bad, to be honest with you, but we'll get that all taken care of. I was talking to the guy about the quarter panel. He actually is going to make a little video of it and show me what it's all about, so I'll put that in right away. I'm excited about that. That's going to save me so much time and make the car look so much better. So I'll get that all dialed together, and well, I'll show you when that's done, and hopefully I'll have that video. All right, well, I finished the last patch on the door there. Looks good. Anyway, the guy sent me a video of the quarter panel and he totally screwed me.
Alrighty there, Danny at DD's Speed Shop. Alright, I know you need my help and you can't do body work. You can't do anything without my help. I'm a fucking professional here, alright? Me and Willard, we know what we're doing. So I'm willing to help you under 3 conditions. First condition is you got to admit that your tool selection sucks. When you're doing body work, one, you have no idea what you're doing. Second thing is you're not using the right tools. So come on, I'll show you some of the new tools that you might want to get for doing a little bit better job on your body work. When it comes to welding and tin bashing, fucking garbage, bud. Like, yeah, you got that new fucking compressor in your shop that turns fucking wall gas into compressed air, but some of your tools should fucking definitely be running on 1202.
How dare you?
You hear that though? It sounds like the H pop's on the way out, I think. Might as well have to get that looked at. H pops, I tell you. Loggers boxes everywhere out here. Easy, easy. Oh yeah, we got this. Mint. All right, there, DD Speed Shop. Second condition to me helping you out on this, because you know I'm all about the community, all about helping you out. It has nothing to do with me, everything to do with you. I'm here to help you out. Isn't that right, Willard? Second thing I got to tell you, And the condition to my love is you got to start using more Mopar stuff. The question is not Mopar Chevy, Mopar Dodge. It's Mopar no car. You don't get a second option. Dodge runs a lot better steel. You see how resistant it is to some kind of a giant pile of equipment that ran it over? Very resistant, way better steel. And you're not gonna get this with them Chevys or Fords. This is a high quality steel. So this is the panel you're getting. This cracks nothing. That cracks, they're gonna buff right out.
They'll be able to buff this out, no problem.
But that's nothing. You're gonna wanna use this. I know you're looking for driver side, but passenger side Mopar stuff works just perfect on driver side Chevy stuff. So this is what you're gonna wanna go with. And yeah, I'll pull her off here quick. Man, I think the tires around here have some kind of a bifida. There we go. Now it'll make more sense. There, now we'll just pull off this high quality Dodge stuff. Mopar or no car. There we go. Oh, there's a little wrinkle in there. I'll get that out for you. And we're all about the community here. Let's see your stupid hammer and body dolly do that. Well, there you go. You got yourself like 8 unmolested feet of Mopar or no car. It really sucks to part with this thing, but I mean, I'm your friend here. Actually, you know what? Since I got my body working tools out, I'm gonna give that cab a quick straighten out. Oh! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Ah! I f***ed up the word rear.
That didn't sound for shit.
Danny, do you need a f***ing headrest? I think I can get it without wrecking it. Oh yeah, there you go, bud. I got you a nice little headrest there. What do you guys think? This old Dodge got a couple more miles left in her or what? I reckon it does. Whee! Oh yeah, she handled like a champ. Whee! Oh yeah, best it's ever handled. Alrighty, well, now, 3 conditions. You get yourself some new tooling, you start using some Mopar, no car fucking steel, because it's the best stuff. And the third and final, the most important thing that I want you to do there, DD Speed Shop, say my name. DD Speed Shop?
DD Speed Shop.
DD Speed Shop?
DD Speed Shop.
DD Speed Shop?
DD Speed Shop.
So obviously Peg screwed me, played a prank on me. He told me, now this is me believing a hillbilly, so my fault, never trust a hillbilly. He said there was an old Biscayne in the dump in nice shape and he was going to cut the quarter panel off and send it to me. So anyways, now I have nothing. I was hoping for it. And well, he's trying to give me body working advice. So I think we're going to fix this thing with 2x4s and wood screws because that's what he would have done.
Now we just gotta quickly, delicately rebolt the fender down here. I mean, fucking body lines are just sherry. I mean, the grill might not line up right, Mint, but it's gonna be pretty good. I measured her out, Mint. Boot 14 inches. See, we're going from structural 2x4 to frame, so you know you're not gonna have any of that deflection. You're gonna want to use the stock holes in the frame, what for not up this sweet frame. Oh, it's not even that much of a rotten piece of shit. Can rally this one through, right a boot. We might as well go 2 on this one. Mint. Oh, screws aren't long enough. I'm gonna have to give it a reach around. See, when you're doing body work like this, you're really gonna need to know how to toe through a board. You don't want to start screwing down here. What for? You don't want any crinkles in your panel. Come on. Oh, never mind. You just gotta give her. Yeah. Just gotta seal up these body panels so they're seamless. So you're just gonna want to use some hot glue for that. Oh, it's getting into Saskatchewan chrome. And then just run your finger along there, some more hot glue. Oh, let's just see here. Is that looking better or worse? Ow!
So we're gonna fix it like zip ties would. We're just gonna go ahead, pound this in, and we're gonna go ahead and just do this. This is the hillbilly way, and then we'll just shape it in after. Basically, this is quarter panel in a can, except I didn't get it from the dump. I actually paid real dollars for this. He wouldn't understand that. Yeah, I should have taken that brand new tire off, but whatever. I don't have dump tires. I have to pay for my tires. This is actually quite satisfying. Oh, and everybody who's watching, this is not the way you do it, just in case there was any concern as to the proper way of doing this. So obviously, I now am on the hunt for an actual quarter panel patch. If anyone has one, and isn't a degenerate hillbilly that wants to help me out, I would really appreciate it. I thought he was my friend. Obviously not. Look at that. Oh, I got it. It may need a second coat. This will need to be, we'll build this section up right there. It's a 2 or 3 layer job. And actually I bought this fiberglass, but it was extra fine. So we'll, gross. We'll get the good stuff out for the next round. Well, this is what happens when you think you have a friend. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and rip this down with the grinder and then call it a night because I'm tired of the bugs. I'm tired, it's dark out, and I'm a little frustrated. So, let's go ahead and get after that. Mask up, it's fiberglass. Well, it's the next day. I did just a little bit of grinding, a little touch up, but look at that. The wheel arch is, we're basically building a Corvette now. So we got it all full of filler. I then kind of gave it a little bit of a shape with the grinder, so we're in about the right shape. And in the back, I just put some fiberglass on that weld. I just gave it a quick once over with the grinder. Anyways, next we're gonna do, we're gonna spackle that with just regular body filler. So I'll get that going. Give it a quick coat, pretty simple. We'll we got the air board so we can kind of flatten it out real simple. The wheel arch, it might not be perfect. It'll be good enough for primer for right now. Anyway, so the filler goes on that. Next time you see me, will actually be on this side. Because all we have left then is to finish this. I'm fighting out if I should cut the whole panel out or do it in sections, because this is, well, I guess it's pretty beat up. So we'll cut that out. We do have to build a trunk drop down, weld that in, little piece on the outside, filler, primer. We're basically done. I mean, the thing, I mean, roughed out, done. But then 2-3 days of sanding, scuffing, stuff like that. Be close enough for paint for me. I'm gonna have to bring in some, you know, I kept the old door pieces and whatnot. We'll polish that up nice, bring in a paint code. But a lot of times you go to a good paint shop, they'll start with that and then they'll add some different colors to bring it down or up or whatever it is to the color you're gonna be dealing with. So obviously if we went down and got factory 66 Chevy, this will polish up, but it's not gonna be brand new and you'll really notice it. So they can, you know, dull it down, do whatever they gotta do by eye. So if they do it once, get a few extra cans because it's hard to do a second time. We'll get that. We should be able to kind of dust this thing together. Man, I'm pretty excited. But we'll be working inside next. Here's what we're working with, or here's what I've cut out that we have to replace. So pretty simple. There's 2 panels missing, the outer quarter and then the inner trunk drop off. I just kind of randomly cut it out. It was pretty rotten on the bottom. So I took those pieces off and we're going to go ahead and trace them onto a piece of steel here. This is the outer quarter. It has the correct length. That's what all we got going for it. What I'll end up doing is kind of trying to cut it in around that way. My big thing I kept this for was it has this break in it right here, and then obviously it kind of disappears with rust. So we'll get that, we'll make sure we have the right break in it. I'll probably go a little taller. We'll square it off nice with a ruler, and then we'll end up trimming this piece any which way we can to the car. This is the trunk drop off. This actually retains some of the shaping. It's, again, pretty rotten. But the front is accurate, so all the way back here is good, but as you can see, they're very different lengths. This is all rotted in the back, so we'll have to kind of guesstimate over there and make something work, but no big deal. That's what we're gonna do. So I'll probably start off cutting the trunk dropout out and get that tacked into place. That way we have something to kind of clamp the outer panel on. Doesn't have to be perfect. It should be pretty simple. There's actually, I'm gonna show you real quick here. There's a little body break right here. As long as you stay around there or below it, it shouldn't be no big deal. The panel's pretty straight. And that's what filler's for. Fix up any of those things. This is where we're working on this side. So again, we're getting there. We'll let it harden up a little bit and then I'll just airboard it out and it'll be pretty dang on close. I might just leave the wheel arch flat for now without the little kind of push in thing, which you may notice, but I think if I don't get that perfectly crisp, that little line, this drop down line like I'm talking about right here, it's going to be ugly. And if I ever do find a true friend that has a quarter panel I can butcher up, we'll weld it in anyway, so I don't want to spend hours and hours making this look good. I know it's a butcher job, don't get me wrong, and I'm a butcher to start with, so if I'm saying it's bad, whew, that's a bad repair. But it's fiberglass, let's be honest. It needs a quarter panel or a section or something like that put on, or even I think the fenders look very similar. If I had a good fender, I'd cut that section out and kind of graft it in. But for now, this is what we got going with. Summer's running out, and we got to drive this thing a little bit. So let's get to cutting that trunk dropout out and fit it in there. I might run in and see if I have an old Coke box and maybe try and trace it a little bit, maybe make a bit better of a pattern because there ain't much metal to work with there. So this here is roughly what we started off with. I ended up making a little template. Oh, just an old Coca-Cola box. So we got that going. I then transferred that into a piece of steel. And I followed that up by giving her some ugly tack welds and getting her into place. So now we have our trunk drop off. Looking pretty good. Pretty simple. You know, there. We know where the bottom piece is, and there. It's a little high. I got to trim just a little section out, but it's in line with the bumper. So next, well, actually next we're going to do a little sanding. But after we do that sanding, we're going to start making that panel and have her just kind of fold on over in there. This is all rotten here, but I think what I'm probably going to do is once this piece is in, I'll get in there from the inside and give her a few little welds. It's nothing too crazy. I mean, it'll be an ugly patch with a little bit of seam sealer. It'll be gold. But this would be nice having all the rust off this hot rod. Now, let's go shape those quarter panels. you. Look at that. That is butchery at its finest. Now, Murr always used to tell me, so anybody who has a concern about my bodywork skills, I learned everything from Murr. And he always just said, load it with filler and sculpt it till it looks like what it looks like. So, I mean, this is my Michelangelo's David, is that what it's called? It's just a 66 Biscayne. So, there you go. Definitely not factory at all, but it's in primer. There's pinholes, there's little stuff like that. But, you know, I'm sure it looks great on camera, especially with all this dust on it. But when we obviously go to, you know, dust in some paint and whatnot, we'll touch that up. So now, I haven't done anything over here. So we got the metal out. I'm going to start tracing and cutting and welding. We'll get this little piece probably at least tacked in. I think this video's gone on long enough, and I've had enough suffer. So we'll do that, and then I think what I'm going to do before I finish off the video is I'm going to pull a piece of the old, or maybe the door, I'm not too sure, pull an old piece of paint out. I want to polish it up so tomorrow I can start get that ball rolling. A little dark there. So a little bit of touch-up paint always makes a car look much better. And honestly, I hate bodywork. We haven't worked on the Nomad since bodywork. Maybe we should have stopped this thing right now. I didn't get the panel I wanted. I got screwed over by a buddy. And yeah, that's the way YouTube goes sometimes. Push it outside and forget about it. Buy another car. All the wheels have fallen off this hot rod. If I decide to keep this thing, she needs a set of at least quarter panel extensions, which I might order and find over the winter time. But for now, we're just going to kind of carry on with what we got. I know it doesn't look like a GM panel, but it is. So I've got this kind of cut about where I want. I tack welded it right to the car. So we're going to go ahead and mark it just so we always put it back in the right spot. I have it in line with this fold. I'm going to weld a piece on the back side. So we'll box it in that way. I'm going to kind of roll it over. So that's the angle it kind of wants to be. Obviously, when we push there, it pulls there. But now I can trace the wheel arch on the back side. So we'll cut that out. The last thing I'm going to do, we're going to eyeball it. So this, we need to make a curve. I should also write out and top. We need to make a curve. So right there is where the back piece is. So it has to be flat out at that point. So we'll probably start the bend about there, and then, you know, put a couple bends in it until it goes that way. And we'll eyeball the front as well. The front I'll actually mark on the back side because I can get to it a lot easier. So I'll peel that off, and then we'll start making this quarter panel patch. Less filler at least. Well, looks all right. So we got our panel cut out, bent up, got a little fold on it there, so it's pretty decent. On this side, on the back side, I did cap it. I actually welded it on the inside because it's easy to get to, so it sticks out just a little bit, but I'll be able to weld to it. So now, the plan is, we have it ugly tack welded in. I'm going to run my zip cut along the line of the new panel into the old quarter, and we'll push this in with a hammer and then kind of just tack weld it right flush. Once we get that done, you know, the whole way across, just a few tacks, we'll then kind of weld this in. We can grind that down. That's probably where I'm going to leave it. Up here, we'll have to give it a little kind of a push in and a bend. You can see we followed. That's all factory metal, so it should be up in there. And then here we got a little bit of rust we got to kind of deal with, but you know what? We'll deal with that down the road. I want to get this all taken care of in, and then we'll polish up a little paint because I want to get some paint going on this thing. Also, I don't have enough body filler to carry on and stuff, so we got to get body filler, sandpaper, all that junk, which is not a whole lot of fun to do, but we do have to get there. So that'll be the next couple of videos. So let's get this finished up. I'm going to talk my way through it as I go because I haven't done it in a while. I figure I'm butchering it. You guys might as well watch. All right, so here are the only tools we need. Zip disc, hammer handle, I think it's rod sitting on the ground, and a welder. So I'm going to zip it. It's kind of an awkward spot to show you guys. Am I in camera? Oh, yeah. I'm going to kind of zip right around there. We'll push her in. Get it tacked. So now we have the quarter panel, original panel, broken away from the car. We can push it in. We can actually line the new panel with the old panel. Oh. So there you go. So now back here, instead of it being lapped over, it's flush. Now we're gonna be able to zip the whole way across, and then that's open to the trunk, so we'll be able to get the old metal out. So we'll do it one more time here. Hammer handle, push it in. There you go. So those are now a flush panel. We can probably weld this real quick. This ain't going anywhere. So now, I'll just do that same thing the rest of the way. Push, weld. Very simple, very easy. Very boring. You want to try and just, the only thing you're cutting, or the only gap you're trying to fill is just the width of the zip disc. Get a nice thin zip disc. You're all set. Come on, that's not a bad panel right there. Get a little bit of love at the front. I'll have to cut a little section out. It does kind of like it loses its shape and just goes kind of more flat down there, I believe, anyways. So let's cut a little sectional triangle out. But that's a pretty tight gap. So you know, obviously we can push in a little bit here and there as we go around, and then that I'll seam weld that the whole way, and then we'll buff that out and don't even know it's there. And we have a nice little underneath. It needs to be welded, but pretty darn good. So let's pull out a little piece of old door, polish it up, call her a day, call her a video. I've been giving her here, and well, rust-free. Rust-free, factory original, big block, 66 Biscayne. If you would leave that, watch a few earlier videos. Okay, so we got this piece of junk door in the vise. It's just easy. I've got some scratch and swirl remover. So we'll try some of that, and then I have some finishing glaze and two different pads. One's pretty rowdy, and one's kind of a finishing unit. So we'll see how the firm pad does with this remover. Swirl remover, and yeah, see what happens. Wow. Actually looks pretty good. Holy moly. That's amazing. All right, I'm gonna do this little section. That, wow, okay. Swirl remover, chemical guys. Who'd have thought? They know their stuff, eh? Okay, that sharp edge is kind of tearing up the pad. Well, it for sure tore up the pad, but do that. We'll put a little top polish on there. This would be a good sample to bring in. Okay, so allow me to show you this. Like, that's what we're starting off with. This paint, this is a gorgeous color. We're kind of losing sunlight, but wow. I was really iffy on this because it was so crusty, like crusty and junky, but wow. It sure came back. So, I ordered a bunch of polishing pads and some polish off Amazon. That'll be here in a couple days. Tomorrow we gotta hit up the body shop, filler, we gotta get some paint, we gotta get all sorts of little odds and ends. Finish this up, start slapping on filler and sanding away. I have a bunch of sanding discs, actually I ordered those. They came today in the mail from Amazon. And this thing, we're coming up in the weekend. I'd like to kind of have it ready for paint or painted in the next week or so. So I should be able to jam out a bunch of videos in a hurry. And there we go. Now, anybody that didn't get the joke, I still love Zip Ties at Plies. He's one of my best buddies, but he did screw me on that panel, and I really feel like he owes me one. So whatever he wants to send me, I accept motors and payment, and we can probably move on to the next one. Thanks for watching. Comment below. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel. 100K's coming in a hurry, and I'm excited to get there. Man, I kind of want to start polishing. I'll have to call Murr over.